Envy have just looked unstoppable. They're suddenly hitting every shot, hitting every angle. We were talking about in-game leaders hitting the frags. Happy sitting on 18 right now, having a whale of a time since he's got hold of this AWP. And it's a scary team. You think of Envy now, obviously Happy is a great AWPer, but now they've got KennyS with him. If they can get that double AWP setup, it's nigh on invincible. Happy going aggressive this time with the AK, pushing a little too deep. That's the first aggression we've seen actually on Banana, and it's backfired on them. You see Happy and MBK both down.
Chris J, though, going to be burnt there by MBK. Next, if he does push, he's going to be at a disadvantage here. Only 18 health, easily finished off there by Apex. And now Spiddy and Godby, with armor and Tech 9s, are going to first of all have to wait for Apex's Molly to go down. And then there'll be a smoke to follow up. So dangerous move either way if mousesports decide to push through this one. They are at a man disadvantage, as well as Godby's health total. And we see Envy not really rotating for this one. They'll keep one man deep on A. Apex here deep on B. And KennyS in the mid for a fast rotate where he can. Well, Apex is going to play super defensive all the way behind Nubox. KennyS going to flash himself over as well. They're going to be ready for this push.
So Molly going down. That's going to cover off the CT push, but that's going to be a clean shot for Kenny there. And they should have this one locked down. It will be Spiddy taken down. So 10-5, good half in the end for EnVyUs. I think they'll be pretty happy with that, the way things were going. It was round for a short period of time there. But mousesports, just the 5 T sides. And finally, with the server playing ball, everybody is looking like to continue this game. So mousesports, everything on the pistol for them, really. Because if they let Envy get to, what, 12, 13 rounds quick and early, it's going to give them a nigh-on impossible task, uphill challenge. Certainly not impossible. We've seen some pretty big 13-2 halves in Inferno before. We'll see how the CT side goes.
Definitely not an impossible task for Mouse, but as you rightly pointed out, it all's going to start with the pistol. They have to get off to a good one, get those initial 3. A gun round really wouldn't go amiss for them as well to go 4-0 open. By that point, we're basically all going to be tied up again. Spiddy there, just having a peek down mid. He didn't see anyone in second mid, so doesn't get that information. And EnVyUs slowly crawling their way up towards a middle push. Only Happy over at Banana right now.
But that little trade, he just had a little trade, tip for tap with Dennis, and it's actually drew Godby all the way back around. Spiddy finds one, though, as soon as they push into A. They're actually going towards Speedway. Chris J is there. Godby's going to join him. Great flashbang, but he wasn't able to follow up on it. And I'm pretty sure MBK got the kill while he was flashed up. Now they're going to be pushing. It's going to be that CT Arch to B play that we saw mousesports try. Dennis single-handedly keeping them at bay, manages to get 2 down. And that's bought time for Spiddy and Next to rotate. Now, MBK yet to get the bomb plant down. And it's 2-on-1.
Key thing is getting his hands on the bomb. He doesn't know where Nex is, and that might be a bit of a problem. You saw him just checking there. He's going to now come off that. Honestly, Spiddy is a one-shot right now. He's still got 30 seconds, so he can play for time on this. Spiddy changing position, and MBK is going to try and get the corner plant in by that first box. Keep himself in. This pop flash might actually cost him his life. He does go over the top, and next comes around the corner. It's mousesports that win a much-needed pistol.
That was a very interesting pistol tactic. Going straight mid, then straight arch, then straight round to B. And they were actually in a very good position. I think they had 5 alive while they were pushing through Speedway. That's when obviously people started dropping. Spiddy with a great little double on the back from Nubox, but 10-6, mousesports get themselves the rifles, 2 UMPs and 3 M4s. Should give them a decent defense here. EnVyUs going for it, forcing it. Why not? Of course, that's what EnVyUs are renowned for. And even an SMG from MBK, because he managed to pick up quite a few kills.
We'll see how this one works out for him. We'll see a flash over the top there from Chris J. Just having a look to see if there was a quick mid-push coming in. That wasn't the case. And in fact, Envy keeping this one fairly slow. We look at that defensive setup for mousesports so far this round. See, God B Dennis, B defense, Chris J by Arch, Spiddy and Nex on balcony and in pit. So gives you an idea of how mousesports are going to be set up going forward in this second half. For Envy, still be no contact right now. There's a pop flash through. Chris J is going to peek it. Is he going to come out alive? He's not. MBK will finish off.
Oh, and that's a quick rotate as well. It's forced Dennis away. Dennis is all the way back at speedway. It's suddenly rotating back. He did get a smoke down now. That slowed EnVyUs. And they are 5-man pushing through. That smoke about to clear. Dennis has to hit the first head. There's going to be the flash. He knows they're going to be coming around. He's going to back away to construction. Wisely keeps himself alive and tries to get a couple of tanks through the smoke. Well, GoldB joins him.
And now the push comes on, though. Apex will fall first. Bomb ticking away. And that's a lot of damage here from the backside from Happy, but Dennis gets the better of him as well. It's now a 3 versus 3. kennyS is going to be watching from CT spawn, from the tree. Can he get one coming around the corner? No, Spiddy checks it, and that could be disaster here for Envy. They've got the bomb ticking quicker and quicker. There's a kit with next, so they've got the time here, mousesports, to get in. But here's the deagle from the back. Keo gets one. Spiddy shuts him down, and there he's next, still alive, on the defuse quick enough. And mousesports, bit of a rocky second round, but they win it nonetheless, and it comes back to 10-7.
Oh, good round from EnVyUs. Their full fours worked almost for them. They managed to get a good plant and a good hold, but mousesports unfortunately had M4s in hand and able to take that long-range fight. And that, of course, gives mousesports a big advantage here. Wow, okay. A little bit of a force coming out from EnVyUs. Still another Tech 9 and head armor from Happy, actually. He just upgraded to head armor just as he left, so we'll see where this tank manages to go, whether he's able to open things up. Chris J feeling confident and rattling a couple of shots down mid there. Not able to find any targets, though.
Yeah, the good thing here for EnVyUs, despite they've lost these first 2 rounds, is they got a bomb plant both times, and they brought mousesports down to just 2 players each time as well. So they've actually made bank, and even here with picking up pistols once again after forcing in that last round, they actually still have a lot of money for a full buy in the next one anyway, so completely worth it. Here's Dennis, up close and personal.
All right, that was a great little pop flash, but it didn't quite work out how they wanted it to. GoldB trying to pop flash Dennis out there, but I think Dennis went maybe a little too early, and he got caught out by the flash of EnVyUs as they pushed on through the smoke. I think they were hoping that they delayed a little longer, and that's actually made it real tricky now for Chris J, Nex and Spiddy, because it's given the rifle, the M4. They haven't actually collected the P90. You can see it just on the floor in front of Nex there. On the 4-man hold, though, they should keep Mouse back here.
Well, those M4s make a whole lot of difference against the pistols. Let's see, though. Next jumping up, headshotted instantly by Keo. There is Chris J going down, and Envy just rushing out there to finish off the CTs. Will pick up finally around. It took them 2 forces to get through onto it, but they do manage to break through that mousesports defense. And, you know, I was talking about how well Envy have done in terms of their economy by doing well in the pistol and that first force, and obviously winning that last one. It works the opposite for mousesports because they've lost so many people. They bought up a second round for 3 of them, and that means that they're now on to a almost full eco. There's 2 P250s. Dennis has got armor, but that's all.
Well, I was questioning myself, Happy going for that full armor and trying to equalize the money a little bit, but clearly when you win around like that, it absolutely pays off, like you say. So there's going to be, well, the first opener. Happy does go down. Can they rescue that weapon? Apex is going to come in and cover it off. Immediately reacts to that cover, and they are actually going to push mid, so it's going to be look like a quad push coming out from EnVyUs, but that's been counter-smoked by mousesports. Slowed things down as they try and get that peek around. Nex and Chris J ready to look, try and challenge, but are they going to find kennyS as he lurks in the smoke?
Well, for now, Chris J not getting a spot down middle, and will back off. kennyS did just spot one from quad, and Envy are going to hit this side. Don't forget, it's basically a full eco, except Dennis, who's sat on that P250 with armor as well. He's got to do a job, but honestly, he's up against AKs, M4s, full-on armor, full-on nades here, although most of them already being used. And it's looking like it will be another Envy round to put them up to 12 points. It'll take a small miracle for Dennis now to do anything with this one. He's in fact over all the way by the T-spawn at this point, so he's just going to sit there, at least keep a hold of his armor and that P250.
Yeah, he's the only one that actually picked up armor in the round, and just making sure he secures that 1,000 for the armor, sorry, the 600, and of course the P250 that he got with it. So 1,000 total, but they actually sadly are going to find him, I think. No, Keo, MBK, they've thought about it, and then they've stopped at the bottom of mid. They were heading straight down there. They're probably unsure of whether actually he's got hold of Happy's rifle that was loose, so they may be questioning whether they have got their hands on it, but it wasn't, sadly. it does mean that mousesports can't afford to buy themselves up. But 12-7 is a great start for EnVyUs here. That 10-5 CT side has put them in good stead to try and close out this matchup. Just 4 rounds remaining for them.
Double eco in here though, Mouse.
Oh yeah,
You see,
they could have afforded for masses for sure in this one, so...
Yeah, I mean, you can force up in that scenario, but if you lose it, you're kind of in trouble again. So going for a double eco here, which I think the wise move, considering, you know, it's 12. If they lose this one, it's 13. They still then have a couple of rounds to buy after that because they've gone for this double eco. So I think in the current scoreline, the current climate, when you look at their finances, this is probably a wise move actually out of mousesports. And we've also seen crazier things than a team with 4 sets of armor and 4 5.7s to actually come out on top of this one. So a little bit of something special, and mousesports could pull off something this round. One thing that's important is they at least get a couple of kills, make it a bit more expensive for Envy, maybe even save a couple of those weapons as well.
Chris J is not going to be able to land anything. Tried to go for a couple of shots. It is going to be Dennis instead that will be challenged at the top, and he's all alone at the moment on B site with that single smoke down. Godby's on the rotate. He should be there just in time, but just pistols in hand, it's going to be tricky. He's going to hold out and porch by the looks of it. He's actually going to flash himself through. That's aggressive. He did have the support, but immediately Kenny S takes him down. Happy was the Lone Ranger over on A site, and he's picked himself up a pretty simple double. Spinny last man standing. He's going to be on A site. He has got a defuse kit, so he might want to just try and keep hold of that one with his pistol. But I think Happy's not going to allow that. He's about to peek round quad straight into Happy's crosshairs.
Oh, nice shot though from Spinny. Question is, can he get his hand on the AK? Looking at the minimap, there's no way in hell that he's getting his hand on that AK. In fact, he'll do well if he actually survives this one, because he's got 1 man pushing from behind him from Apps. He's going to have 2 from library side as well. There's the shot. It's Kenny S that will come out on top of it. And EnVyUs, yes, they lose 1 man, but Happy even saying there, nice shot. And certainly was there with that P250. 13-7 scoreline. Now we see the buyback from Mouse.
Yeah, now they're in a great position to just close out the game. They've got all the money in the world. This is a biggie for mousesports. Lose this round, it could well be game over, and one of their lives lost. That would leave Team EnVyUs and SK Gaming the only 2 teams with 4 lives left in the tournament. Far from over for both of these teams, but almost certainly sets EnVyUs as the top favourites after beating TSM earlier today.
Impressively as well, I have to say. 3 rounds off that win. Important one here for Mouse. You have to feel that it might just be all over for them without a victory in this one. So far it's a slow standard spread for Envy. Have managed to get control of Apps though, something that, you know, we've seen mousesports relinquish, I think, more than Envy did. There's the peek around. It's actually a 2 for 2 at this point, but Chris J, he will open up with 2 to bring the man advantage back. Here comes Kenny. Chris J gets the better of him as well, basically single-handedly winning this round for mousesports. It leaves just Kiyoshima, who spotted, I think, an arm or a leg there of Dennis, managed to somehow get the headshot through that smoke, and now he's going to make a charge of this one. He knows that he's going to have plenty of money to work on, and he's going to give a go at clutching this round. From a 1 versus 3, can he pull this off? He's got 26 seconds, which makes it all the more difficult. There is the peek through. Godby gets the better of him though, and mousesports hold on.
Solid A defense there from Chris J. So gives mousesports a little lifeline. It was the round they had to win, and it's worked out for them. Can they build on this one? Team EnVyUs will easily be able to just buy straight back up on their little hit point question there. Chris J was down to 15 hit points, I believe. And now Chris J actually going aggressive. He's going to get a little peek. He's going to try and have a glimpse. Is he going to hear footsteps? He's holding off with a smoke in hand, but not going to go for it next. Just going to pop that flash out. Wow, that flash actually caught 3 of them in the second mid there. MBK does get Chris J down, peeking a little too much.
Yeah, almost a waste there, I think, from Chris J. I'm pretty sure they'll have heard those footsteps from second mid. And that leaves Mouse already at a 5v4 disadvantage. Next needs to be careful. Kenny S just around the corner. He knows where he is though. He saw the grenade popping off against the wall. Here comes the push from Boiler as well from Apex. Neither of them really getting the shots off they need though. And the Flashers managing to slow Envy for a little while longer.
Oh, they allowed him a reload there. He was down to 2 bullets. Could have tried to pressure his position, but instead they will find him a quad. And now Spiddy and Pit got beat at Arch. The two men holding A site. Dennis still all the way over on B site, so not involved in this one. Or will he be? Because look at the rotate. It's going to be Happy once again as the Lone Ranger. He's going to be gunned down by God B, but that's going to be 4 members heading straight towards Dennis, holding off at Spools. Can he manage to get a great flash in? He goes for the one, gets the second one out there. He's down to 16 health already. He was already tagged low and unable to make any dent in this one, but God B's pushed through the smoke, manages to get one, but a quick revenge there from Keo. And Dennis, well, he gets the bomb carrier. It's not over yet. Spiddy pushing in.
Spiddy, though, yeah, I was going to say, only with a FAMAS.
Yeah.
And Kenny S was already watching as that smoke starts to clear. Shot going to be easier for Kenny S in that scenario.
A little messy towards the end, though. That was far from clean from EnVyUs, but interesting to start to see this CT Arch straight down Speedway to B-site once again. It's starting to become common in this game, it appears.
Yeah, we also saw that round that 3 men from mousesports, again, because the round previously wasn't clean, had to completely force up. They literally spent everything that they had, which means this round, they are again forcing, this time with pistols on them. And Dennis will open up the fragging, so it's not over just yet. But certainly the pressure is on. There's a 1 kill from Chris J, but he couldn't find number 2. But we still have a 3 versus 3. Finally, Apex will burst through, and just Dennis and Spiddy, who are sadly for mousesports over towards that CT spawn, are going to need a while to get back around from it. They do recover an AK, but it costs Spiddy 80 HP.
Yeah, I think they're going to try and hold on to them. Oh, no! Dennis possibly could have held on to that one a little longer. Spiddy was already backing. He was already saving. There was no reason to peek a second if your teammate's just not doing it. And that's going to put them on match point now. And mousesports, how's their economy? Oh, it's not great. They just won. If they hadn't won that round a moment ago, then, you know, they would have been okay. But it's going to be a 2-round loss. It's not going to give them anything. mousesports, it's going to be very, very tough for them to try and pull anything out from this game. Looking like EnVyUs are going to close out this match in style.
Well, it's a little more one-sided than maybe a lot of people were waiting for, although we did point out at the start that mousesports like to avoid Inferno. EnVy, you know, traditionally have been a strong Inferno team, so maybe not quite as crazy in terms of full-on scoreline than people might make out, but it's certainly looking good. We see the buy, I don't know if we can really call it here, forcing everything they can, of course, just trying to keep this one at match point, but it's really the AK, couple of Deagles, couple of 5.7s, head armor for everyone except Dennis. Thin on the ground in terms of grenades. This is going to be an incredibly hard hold for Mouse. They're
going to pop flash him out. This could work out well. He does manage to give himself one. Almost got the second as Apex checks it. That's going to smoke him off, but Apex jumping through the air manages to find Dennis. So well thought out play there. Got beat. Now he's got Spiddy to try the same. Spiddy, of course, with that AK will slow things down once he gets that molly down. Actually cuts them off a little bit there. NBK all alone. He's checking over on A side. Chris J forced to back away. Now the bomb's just been left abandoned in Banana as they continue to try and find some kills here, EnVyUs. So they're still not completely committed to B site. And next is Deagle finds MBK's head.
Yeah, pop flashed out again and almost made it look easy. And Apex already figuring out that they were going to come fountain. Spiddy does get one, but it's now a 3-on-2 with Kenny S at the back watching down towards construction. Can he find that man? Keo has tucked himself away in the corner. And Envy looking to hold on. Kenny looking down towards CT spawn and will find Chris J. That makes it all the more harder. But they've killed him off and there is Spiddy coming in. And mousesports against all odds here are going to be able to get the defuse in time. They have to switch out to Spiddy who had the kit, but they will hold on. They've got a lifeline here against Envy as they move up to 15-9.
They got another AWP for Chris J as well. He's going to have to make use of it. He's been peaking a couple of times. Possibly going to get challenged. Can he able to afford just about what he wants in this one? Of course, EnVyUs full buy apart from Happy, who actually does get himself an AK in there as well. Just sitting on the Tech 9 for a short period of time. 15-9, still match point. A lot of match points to go if mousesports are going to try and bring themselves back in. They're going aggressive, and Chris J finds Kenny S. There's the AWP duel we wanted to see.
Yeah, and he's just going to pull all the way back around towards that A-bomb site now, knowing that mousesports, that Envy probably not going to be pushing Banana once again after losing the initial man to that push. So 5-4 advantage for Mouse. and it slowed Envy right down. You do have that 3-man stack, already trying to gain some control over middle, which, again, kind of typical for what Mouse have gone for at this stage. Has been the control being relinquished, and they're going to sit back and try and hold it from both quad or pit, rather, and on the arch side from library. Next, we'll find MBK, so big advantage now for Mouse. It's going to take something special out of Envy to win this round.
Yeah.
Or Chris could be looking in the wrong direction. That certainly helps.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't normally expect the man to just creep on through the smoke like that. Next does find Keo, but response is not really coming from Spiddy. He's down to 8 health and stuck in pit. But Godb comes around the backside. 2-on-1, happy with that AWP. Does get himself a good tag onto Godb. Didn't get the kill, unfortunately, for him. And he's down on just 11 hit points. Bomb plant will be pit side. Dennis should be able to catch him here. Envy, I gotta say, I'd be impressed if Happy can hold on to that one. It will be a clean pickup. They should be able to rescue the AWP. It's in that smoke somewhere. There we go. Godb manages to find it. And 15-10. Clever little play from Envy. They saw the situation. The smoke came from Graveyard, and MBK read the bounce, the direction of it. As soon as he saw it, he immediately ran straight down, pushed out a boiler, and straight round into quad. But sadly for them, they just lost out in the duels. Clever
retake as well from Mouse. You know, they know it's Happy, someone who can clutch rounds. AWP in his hands. You got him 1 versus 1. And you know, 2 1 versus 1s. That's how you lose a round like that. Oh, bad time to pull a grenade out there from Godb. They're actually going to rush on through, but he's got the damage for this one. The nade's certainly helping out. And this is, again, a buy-up from Envy. So actually really pushing things nicely here at mousesports. Already got 2 men down. Kenny, Happy, and Apex, all that's left, and they're blocked off by smoke here on B. That worked very well for Mouse. It could have easily backfired because, as you said, he was caught with grenade in hand, but they just kept pushing and he backed away, managed to bounce it off that wall and catch straight onto the back of Keo, and immediately was followed up with an M4 rifle shot. 3 of them stacked out in B site, but it looks like the rotate is going to happen. Apex is going to be the man that tries to distract, tries to keep them busy, or just tries to get a kill while Kenny and Happy make their way up mid. Apex will not come out on top against Dennis, and that's actually going to put Envy in a real tricky situation, because like you said, they forced it again for this one. They will get the round loss kicking in should they lose this round at 15-10. But things start to get a little edgy once the opposition team hits double figures, despite the fact you're on match point. Absolutely. That's when, you know, what was feeling like a comfortable win for you becomes a question mark or two. That's an easy kill for Godb. Second one on Happy might be a little bit more difficult, but he does have one in the back of that site. Plus the AWP of Chris J now coming from spawn as well. And mousesports bring it back to just a 4-round difference. Really clawing their way back in this one. And not a man lost. That was a clean round for mousesports. And real questionable from EnVyUs, because they went 1 by 1 into sight. You know, obviously we were talking about how they were pushing B and they could have caught mousesports off. They did go 1 by 1, so they kind of made it easy for Dennis and Godb in a way. Chris J, is he going to peek? Because Keo is waiting once again. It looks like he will. Keo just hanging around tunnels. Chris J this time not going to challenge it. Yeah, and we see mostly eco there for Envy. Head armor and armor for Apex. For Happy, sorry, and Apex has armor as well, and obviously spread of Tech 9s and the Deagle for Keo. So not an easy round on paper for Envy. Look at Apex at the back. He's running. Yeah, I think just using this round, you know, to have a bit of a chat, figure out what's going wrong from them. You know, if you're going to use that tactical pause, you use it a little bit later on, maybe at 12 or 13 rounds. So, you know, use this one where you're on an eco anyway and not expected to win it, to just chat things up, see if you can actually figure out something without taking that pause. The push now, though, coming over towards B. The molly, did it get thrown out? It did, but he didn't do a great deal, but Dennis does get himself a double. Godb's in the corner there, and this is a straightforward cleanup. Happy the last man standing. Will get executed by a pistol from Godb. And now at 15-12, as you said. We were at 15-8, I believe. mousesports still coming. EnVyUs full buy this time around. AK's everything they need. Can they do it? Round loss kicking in, of course, which is helping them out here. mousesports, they're hanging on. They're hanging on. And actually successfully, because Envy haven't really got too many kills in the last 3 rounds. No, they haven't, and I expect, you know, after they had that eco and talked things through, if they lose this one, we might see that tactical pause coming through for Envy. Just try and slow down mousesports a little bit, because it is now 4 rounds in a row that they've had on this CT side, bringing them all the way back.
And the last time they faced each other, I believe it went to overtime on Inferno. It was probably a while back, and it's a very much different lineup. But here we go. They're going to be pushing straight through. chrisJ in trouble, actually. He's caught into Cubby, and he's not going to be able to get it out without roasting.
Well, we'll see about this one, because Nex is going to break through, gets himself a double. And just like that, Kenny S, 1 versus 4, is going to have to pull off a monstrous round. He's gone through the smoke towards Arch. Will find one. That's Dennis down. He's only got 25 health, though. And God B from Kitchen will spot him out. And that is 15-13 now. mousesports on the comeback here. I still don't want to jinx that for them. 2 rounds more to go to push us into an overtime. And Envy not pausing things up. They're going to keep going.
They're just going to keep on going, forcing it back up there. Galil for happy this time around. 27 kills for Apex so far. We were talking about whether he was hot and cold. This time he seems to be hot, but it's mousesports who've got just a standard even spread. There's nobody really setting the world alight, because they're just overall playing as a team very well in this defense. Question is, can they keep Envy at bay? Because round after round, they just have to keep playing it. Overtime will come at 15. There is no draws. Somebody has to come out victorious.
Yep, and of course the loser will lose a life. Both of which these teams still have all 4 in place after their wins earlier on today. Here is going to be chrisJ. He's got 3 men to pick, and he can't hit any of them. It's Keo that takes him. MBK puts Envy 1 step closer as Apex jumps into pay as well. And just like that, they found a way to break this mousesports defense. God B gets shot through the smoke. Only Dennis remains, but he's finished off as well. And it's a 16-13 victory.